Supercross Live on supercrossonline.com. Las Vegas, the final round. If you don't know who's next to me, well, study up your moto history. The Professor Gary Bailey here, and we know you've been working with Cooper Webb, putting in a lot of time with him, and his results have been getting a bit better. Where are you at this week?
Yeah, we're getting better every week. You know, I think it's more of that learning experience. You know, they call it the rookie year, and I think that's where we're at. I think our technique is good coming into almost every race. But then there always seems to be some section that throws a little bit for a loop, and I think it's a little bit more of that as the track develops, it gets rougher and, you know, it gets more ruts in it and more kicker spots, and those just seem the areas where a rookie, per se, and I don't like to think of Cooper as a rookie, but obviously he is, and I think that's where he struggles a little bit more than anywhere else. I think when it's straightforward, we're golden.
With any athlete who's had a tremendous amount of success as a young player, or a young rider, or a young any athlete at all, when they get to the professional level, it's hard to get them to buy into change. I know you've been working with Cooper on change. How do you get him to buy into what you want him to do?
You almost have to build his confidence. You almost have to prove it sometimes. And we still go through this even this last week when we were out. And I've been working with Cooper for 9 years now, so I've been through all of his amateur, the good percentage of his amateur career plus this. And I have to literally go out there and go, Cooper, this is what I think will work. I want you to go out there and try it, and have him try it, and then, okay, now do what you were doing. And sometimes I have to actually sell him on the idea, or him sell himself on the idea.
And how has that sales process been going?
It's going really well. I mean, a racer, it's tough sometimes, because, yes, I'm an ex-racer, but we didn't have anything like this. But I spend a lot of time studying all the top guys in both classes to figure out what one guy's doing better than the other guy, or what makes this guy win on this day compared to the other rider. And so I have all that information to give to Cooper, and it's just a matter, like I said, it's a learning process. And, he's going to get it. I'm pleased with where we are. I think that we've had a few races that we obviously should have done better, but, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's racing.
Cooper's had a couple incidents getting into guys and stuff, learning through this year. How do you manage his confidence level? Who helps him manage his confidence level, the mental side of dealing with riding Monster Energy Supercross?
Well, I do as much as I possibly can to help him with that. But as far as getting into other riders, I think we had one that was a bad decision. And I think we had another one that was just a situation. It easily could have turned one way or as it did another. And because of a certain situation we had a couple of weeks before, it looked like it was another maybe intentional, which none of them were intentional, because certainly he has no intention of going there and putting himself or anyone else down at that point. So, again, we're back to the rookie status again. And I think that each one of those taught him that's not how you handle that situation.
How about the role of mom and dad?
Mom and dad, I think that's a tough one. I'm kind of there, and I feel like I'm there more as like grandpa, maybe.
Yeah.
I've been there through the mom and dad thing, particularly the dad part, with David, and I was there with Pastrana for all the years that he ran moto, and now here with Cooper, and that's a tough one. I think sometimes the problem with mom and dad is, particularly for these youngins that are 16, 17, 18 years old, I think the problem is that when you get real close, sometimes they don't see what your real intentions are. Because for me, there's a lot of, I guess the word I'm going to use is leeches out there, that as soon as somebody starts having success, it seems it's funny how many friends you immediately have. And then I think there's mom and dad, and of course me, that've been here for 9 years, and I don't ask much for Cooper other than let's do this and let's get results. That's really all I ask of Cooper. And so, I think from the mom, dad's perspective, it's a tough one. I like the families that are out there that I see, without mentioning names, everybody knows who they are, that still have the parents around, the mom and the dad around. And I think that's a good key to success, as long as they're over there and don't try to be too involved in it, but be there, support, and, offer advice when they need to, and the guidance. I think that's important. But, it's a tough one. It's actually a tough one for me. If I was just the coach and hadn't been there for that long, maybe it would have been easier for Cooper to kind of accept some things I tell him. So I'm kind of he's grandpa, or he's dad, or he's like, does he really know? Yeah, well, so I got to prove myself. And I think I do a pretty good job of proving myself to him.
Maybe tell him to check out some old videotapes.
Yeah, that's never a bad idea. You can learn from anybody. I mean, David and I used to, and one of the reasons I started videoing was because of the fact that I thought that the video is so important. I mean, I saw football in film days, doing and studying and analyzing. And what David, I think, liked most about all the stuff that I shot was he got a chance to see the guys behind him and what they were doing. You know, you can always see what's going on in front of you, and you know what you're doing, and you know what those guys are doing, but you know what the guy behind you is doing and how he works it. So, you know, I think that's a real important factor to have the video to look at.
I know you're not making predictions. You're not into that right now, but how about expectations tonight for Cooper? Maybe some key words, some key thoughts that you're going to put in his mind before he comes out.
You know, with East and West together, I think it's possible to be on the podium. I think a solid top 5, if we're not on the podium, just close, would be good. I think it'd be a good confidence builder. We certainly haven't been a solid podium guy. We've had our opportunities, but always some little racing incident that went on or somewhere we just lacked. But I think the podium is doable. Obviously, you hear it all the time on the broadcast, a start.
Yeah.
If you don't get a start at the levels of the guys today, particularly in the 250 class, you're not going to come up. You're not going to be a Villapoto that's going to start in 10th and work your way all the way up to first place. That's just not going to happen. So I'll be happy with a good, solid top 5. And in a podium, I'd just be ecstatic with the podium.